that too. I can do that. Hey! You slow! You a fraud! Bye-bye, Jamie!
When IshowSpeed humiliated pro athletes. IshowSpeed isn't a pro athlete, but he's made pros look like amateurs more times than anyone expected. From absolutely embarrassing Ashton Hall.
It's too slow! It's slow! It's too slow! Too slow! Too slow!
To brutally humiliating this karate master. Here are the wildest times Speed made professional athletes look like they didn't belong on the same field. Ashton Hall. Starting with Ashton Hall, who is an over-the-top fitness influencer who really thought he had something to prove. The morning routine guy, famous for sprinting shirtless down the street at sunrise, hit up Speed for a race, talking like he was about to end Speed's entire streaming legacy. And let's just say, Speed did not take this lightly.
It's that Hall!
What is he thinking?
Why do they call me out, chat?
It's absurd.
Hall claimed Speed was washed, slow, and not even on his level. That alone would have been enough to start beef, but Hall didn't stop there. He said Speed was scared. That was the final trigger.
I told him I'll be there on Wednesday. I just knew he was gonna duck me. Because I hear he's smart, you know what I'm saying? So the kid is smart.
Speed took it personally. He started warming up for the race immediately. And when Ashton Hall got to Speed's place, Speed didn't even say much. They just took off to the racing field. In the very first sprint, Hall tried to explode off the line and face planted. Literally, he tripped over his own momentum, trying to keep up and skidded on the pavement. Speed didn't even have to clown him. The clip did all the work.
This nigga, I'm out, boy!
But it didn't stop there. Hall begged for a rematch. Then another and another. They did 4 races in total, and each time, Speed cooked him with ease. Hall kept making excuses, but after the 4th round, Speed was just done with him.
Bye.
Twitter had a field day, and Hall became the butt of every fitness joke online for a week straight. But if Ashton's meltdown was hilarious, what happened next was unexpectedly wholesome. Because Daniel LaBelle showed up and took his loss like a true legend. Daniel LaBelle. Known for his fast-paced videos where he sprints around cleaning his house or stacking cups mid-run, Daniel was the guy people quietly respected for his athleticism. So when Speed challenged him to a sprint, fans were actually torn on who would win.
Daniel, you ready, man?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
All right, bro. Hey, it's a lot of people. Hey, it's a lot of people who got your
The showdown took place at a high school track. Speed pulled up with a busted foot, but told Daniel that he wasn't going to make excuses if he lost. But just before the race, Speed was about to hit 41 million subscribers, and that gave him a different kind of energy. The moment the countdown hit 0, Speed blasted off the line. Daniel slipped a bit at the start, and Speed took the first win clean. But there was no ego and no trash talk. Daniel just smiled, shook Speed's hand, and congratulated him. Fans instantly noticed the contrast from the Ashton Hall mess. Daniel wasn't about proving something, he was just having fun. Speed was so impressed, he offered a rematch on the spot. And once again, he won.
Let's go, bro. Let's go, bro. Let's go, bro. Mark too, bro. Oh, yeah.
Daniel stayed respectful, laughing with Speed, even hyping up the stream. And that short stream turned into one of the most wholesome moments on Speed's channel. But that wasn't even as crazy as the time Speed stopped in Panama for a light spar with a karate black belt and left everyone shocked. Panama Karate Master. Speed's trip to Panama had the usual live stream madness. Crowds, noise, chaos. But no one expected the real highlight to come inside a tiny martial arts gym. He walked in wearing his usual Crocs, ready to take on a local karate black belt.
Basic steps.
Okay. I just want to spar somebody. Tell them that.
At first, it looked like a joke segment. They did a few stances, some awkward bowing, nothing serious. But then, Speed challenged the sensei to a light spar, and it got weird fast.
Okay.
They squared up. The black belt kept it professional, using soft taps and light blocks. Speed, of course, turned it into an anime battle. He dodged one punch, then randomly held his leg midair. He stepped forward, lifted the master's foot with his own leg, and dumped him straight to the mat. The room froze, was silent for half a second, then everyone lost it. Speed had just bodied a black belt on live stream, using sheer unpredictability. It wasn't clean karate, it wasn't traditional, but it worked. And the best part, the sensei laughed too. He got up smiling, greeted Speed, and even joined in as the crowd chanted Speed's name.
It lagged.
What was meant to be a demonstration turned into a moment of viral gold. And just when you think that was wild, wait until you see what happens when Speed humbles a Premier League legend, Jamie Carragher. Jamie Carragher is one of those names you don't play around with. With over 700 Premier League appearances, he is a Liverpool legend. He has faced Thierry Henry, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Didier Drogba. So naturally, when IshowSpeed matched up against him at the 2022 Sidemen charity match, no one expected anything serious. Carragher even looked like he was there to babysit, not ball.
You say you can make it big time, you're like Dembele, you gotta do it in front of the audience.
So I can't get embarrassed now.
But then came the moment. After 15 minutes of outpacing, outrunning, and frankly, outmatching Speed, Carragher tried to assert more dominance. So he challenged Speed to a foot race, maybe thinking it was going to be as easy as football.
Yo, 40-year-old dash strength against me. Prove it, prove it. Prove it. You're faster than me.
Speed didn't flinch. The second the whistle went, he exploded down the field. No hesitation, just raw speed. He even turned his head mid-sprint to look back at Carragher with a smirk, like he was running drills in his backyard. Carragher laughed it off, but the embarrassment was real. A YouTuber who barks on stream had just dusted a Premier League icon. On camera, in front of a stadium full of fans with millions more watching online. The moment instantly went viral. TikToks, Twitter memes, and side-by-side reaction clips blew up within hours. And while Carragher stayed chill about it, there was no saving face. He got smoked, simple. So, when Carragher saw another chance of smoking Speed on CBS Sports, he did not waste his chance. However, he ended up straight up embarrassed once more. CBS Jamie Carragher. After their chaotic on-field moment during the Sidemen charity match, you'd think IshowSpeed and Jamie Carragher had already written the perfect ending to their rivalry. But fate and CBS Sports had other plans. In an episode that started as a lighthearted football talk show, the two clashed once again. And this time, it wasn't on any field. It was on a television studio floor.
Thierry Henry type fast?
Yes, I'm like faster. I think I'm faster than
Speed was sitting alongside legends. Jamie Carragher, Micah Richards, and Thierry Henry chatting about football, antics, and life. Then, the topic shifted to Speed's athleticism. Carragher smirked and casually dropped a jab. "I'm still quicker than Speed." That was all it took. Speed's face changed. The challenge was accepted.
My guy here can...
You want to race?
can
I'll throw me trainers.
Let's go, man.
Yeah?
Let's go. I'm ready, bro.
In under a minute, they cleared part of the studio and lined up for race. Speed took off like a bullet. Head down, arms flailing. It was messy, loud, and absolutely hilarious. Carragher barely managed a few strides before Speed hit the imaginary finish line and erupted into full celebration mode, sliding on the floor like he'd just scored a World Cup winner.
Bye-bye, Jamie. Bye-bye, Jamie. Sweet.
Laughter filled the room. However, Carragher took the loss humbly, admitting defeat with a grin. But if you think outrunning a Premier League veteran was Speed's peak athletic moment, wait until you see what happened when he took on an Olympic gold medalist in a race that shocked everyone watching. Noah Lyles. Noah Lyles doesn't lose foot races. He's a 3-time world champion, the fastest man alive in the 200-meter dash, and one of the most elite sprinters in the world. So, when he lined up against Speed during a Mr. Beast challenge for a 50-meter sprint, it felt like a joke setup. But this one had stakes. Mr. Beast had offered $100,000 for a random viewer of the winner.
If you beat him, I'm gonna give someone random in your chat $100,000 tonight.
Before Speed even stepped on the track, he even called his dad for a quick motivational pep talk. He knew what this moment meant. racing against Noah Lyles, a 3-time world champion and one of the fastest sprinters on Earth. But the second Speed arrived, Lyles was already playing mind games. He was throwing jabs, trying to get under his skin.
After the second step, you will lose all hope and you will want to stop the race.
Originally, the plan was a 100-meter sprint, but they agreed to cut it down to 50. When the race began, Speed exploded off the line. He actually pulled ahead for about 5 meters. And for a moment there, it looked like Speed might pull off the upset of the year. But Lyles found his stride. By the halfway mark, he surged forward and edged out the win, barely. The finish was so tight, they had to replay it several times just to confirm. And when Speed asked for a rematch, Lyles shut it down immediately. For a guy who's dominated global tracks for years, the margin in this race was way too close. And even in defeat, Speed walked away with something rare: respect from one of the fastest men alive. But Speed wasn't done collecting egos, because next, he stole a punching high score from a UFC light heavyweight champion in a blink of an eye. Alex Pereira. Nobody could have predicted this one. In one of his most unhinged live stream moments, IshowSpeed found himself inside the heart of the UFC. Surrounded by legends, Speed, being Speed, decided to shoot his shot. So he went straight to Dana White and requested a light spar with none other than Alex Pereira, the cold-blooded UFC light heavyweight champion known for turning lights out in a blink.
Okay, who do you want?
I'm ready for my...
Aiden Ross?
No, I want Alex Pereira.
Dana White immediately told Speed that was a bad idea, but Dana wasn't about to kill the fun entirely. Instead, he threw out a challenge, a punching machine contest with Pereira. Speed lit up, and Pereira agreed. The rest was just legendary. Pereira went first. One clean hit, scoring 913 on the machine.
Oh my God.
Then Speed came. He unleashed everything he had on it and made 921.
I want it.
Oh my God.
The room exploded. Even Dana White laughed in disbelief, shaking Speed's hand with a smile. No punches were traded, but Speed still walked away with the win. Next up, Speed takes on a pro athlete in a vertical jump battle and nearly steals his title. Fredrick flips. What started as a playful sports stream turned into an all-out challenge when IshowSpeed squared up with a professional high jumper, Fredrick flips. The setup was simple. Who could clear more bars in a vertical jumping contest? Fredrick walked in confident, assuming Speed would be out of his league. But as always, Speed had other plans.
I've never seen if you could do a front flip. We'll test that real quick. Then we'll move to the next event.
At the beginning, it looked like Fredrick was right. Speed was joking around, laughing, and clearly didn't seem serious. But once the jumping began, his natural athleticism kicked in. Bar after bar, Speed's vertical leap was shockingly explosive and raw.
All right, I'll put you on level 1. All right.
Fredrick kept raising the bar, expecting Speed to fail at each new height. But Speed just kept going, adjusting, competing, pushing. It wasn't polished or textbook perfect, but it was effective.
All right, I see you got some spring.
Eventually, the final height loomed, roughly head level. Speed gave it everything. He didn't clear it perfectly, but he nearly did, leaving everyone, including Fredrick, surprised.
Oh, I did it. I did it. I did it.
It was messy but impressive. And just when you thought Speed's vertical leap was wild, wait until you see what went down in Australia, where Speed took down pro athletes in rugby. Aussie rugby pros. When Speed touched down in Australia, fans expected chaos, but no one expected him to go head-to-head with a professional rugby squad. At a training facility packed with tough, battle-tested Aussie players, Speed was invited to run some drills. Everyone assumed he'd be the one getting flattened. They were wrong.
Yeah.
This guy's fast.
He's not faster than me.
We'll see.
When the drill started, Speed stood on defense, staring down a player trying to outmaneuver him with fancy footwork. Big mistake. As he tried to sidestep, he slipped hard, crashing to the ground like a cartoon character. Speed didn't even need to touch him. Another pro stepped up, this time charging at Speed. But instead of backing down, Speed squared up, dug his feet in, and at the last second, he tackled the guy clean off his feet. The entire field erupted. One by one, Speed kept lining up and knocking them down, either through tackles or sheer intimidation. The players were dying of laughter. It wasn't polished, but it worked. The guy known for barking on live streams had just bulldozed real athletes on a rugby pitch. Moving on to Bali, a random street challenge turned into a 1,200-kilometer dare. The Bali Race. Of all the wild moments in Speed's travels, nothing topped what happened during his unexpected pit stop in Bali. As Speed casually walked through the streets, a local athlete approached him with a banner boldly challenging him to a race.
Race him here. Yeah, I know. I'm at the racing. All right, bet, you ready? All right, bet, you ready? All right, let's go.
The deal was, if Speed won, the guy vowed to walk from Bali to Jakarta, a jaw-dropping 1,200-kilometer journey. If Speed lost, he simply had to follow the challenger on Instagram. Simple.
If this guy loses, he has to walk Bali to Jakarta. All right, come on.
Right here.
Speed, never one to back down, agreed immediately. As soon as the countdown ended, he took off like a shot. The Indonesian runner was no slouch either. For a moment, it looked like Speed might lose, but he edged him out and crossed the line milliseconds ahead.
Go! You gotta do it! You gotta do it!
The crowd went nuts. True to his word, the local racer looked into the camera and pledged to begin the 1,200-kilometer trek. The whole thing was surreal. Speed once again showed that while he may not be a trained pro, he's always ready to throw down, and sometimes come dangerously close to winning. And there you have it, the wildest moments where Speed straight up embarrassed professional athletes. Which one shocked you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more amazing videos like this one.